Hi Planner fam, it's Heather here with Best Laid Plans, and I do have another opera-inspired monthly layout. This one is going to be more on the decorative side, and I am sorry that it's kind of late. Fun story. I really wanted to do Turandot for the opera, and I knew I wanted to use a lot of really beautiful traditional Chinese prints, and I just had a really hard time finding anything. I can't really go in stores and browse because I'm immune compromised. So I really had to focus on getting supplies from online and then printing things. I did get some beautiful pottery inspired designs from Sticky Club in one of their packs, and some other really beautiful enamel stickers that match really well. But I just really wanted some beautiful period Chinese prints. So I had to wait till I found something, and then I had to wait for it to be delivered. But I actually did find this antique Chinese textile, and it's all the same one, so but I don't mind. I'll use it in art journaling or for gift wrapping. It's just this really beautiful dragon print, and I think it's going to work perfect for this. The other thing that I wanted to get for this spread that's a little unique is I really wanted some sort of period hanfu drama style stickers. One of my kind of guilty pleasures is watching period Chinese dramas on Netflix and other platforms. I just finished Princess Weiyoung. This is not a sponsored video, but you do watch it. It's really good. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great if I had some of those to represent the characters? So I got some really great stickers. I had to wait a really long time for them to come in the mail, but I'm very happy because now I have character stickers for the opera characters. And I just think it's going to look really cool. I will be using some Happy Planner stickers as well. I plan to use some of the stickers from the Flowers book. Just perhaps some of these kind of more rich red stickers, as well as this washi. I have my Simply Gilded washi that has the music notes, and then some just red washi to go with that, kind of keeping in the colors. And then I have some more sort of traditional Chinese art stickers to use throughout. I had to wait a long time to get everything for the spread, but I'm really happy that I waited. I really wanted to do a very kind of traditional period Chinese setting. For those of you who aren't familiar with the opera, I will kind of talk about it as I decorate. That's what I do in these videos. I have a playlist of all of my opera inspired planner layouts. If you're interested in decorative planning and you want to learn more about opera, I definitely suggest checking out that playlist. I'll put a card here. So we will talk a little bit about Turandot and then decorate our planner. Just because I think it is appropriate to do so, I'm going to kind of put a trigger warning before this. There are some elements in this particular opera that are related to themes of self-harm or assault, and might trigger some someone who maybe is sensitive to those things. So I just wanted to go ahead and let you know there are some thematic elements in the opera that are part of the drama, and if you are not into that kind of thing, or you just want to kind of skip over, you can feel free to do so. This might not be the best video for you, but I did want to point that out before we get started, just in case anybody is triggered by those things. So here we go. So with a lot of these decorative layouts, you'll see me get out my punch and actually punch out squares for the monthly spaces. For this one, I'm actually going to be trimming this textile art sheet into longer slices. And the reason why is, if you look at the monthly layout, this will actually perfectly cover the entire row. And that's sort of what I'm going for. It's way too late in the month to have a functional monthly layout. The only thing I can plan is Memorial Day. Sometimes that happens. I really do use my monthly as an excuse to do sort of like an art journal style thing. So if you really want a big functional monthly planner, I do have some more functional monthly spreads and plan with me's on my channel, but I do like to do mainly decorative. So I'm going to go ahead and just measure that out. So I have a long strip. And yep, that's going to be really cool. So I'm going to just continue cutting out those long strips, and I will talk a little bit about the opera as I lay everything out on the planner. So I'm also going to be using some of the artwork from some of the famous album cover from the score and the libretto of Turandot. And Turandot is an Italian opera by Giacomo Puccini. Puccini is famous for writing many of the most popular operas of our time, including La Bohème. And I really enjoy Turandot because of the setting, the story, the characters. I love dramatic soprano roles, of course, but one of the things that I really like about Turandot is it talks a lot about gender roles and society, but it also has this kind of ending message of hope. And I think that it is a really fun story. So it's one of my favorites. I love the music. And even if you've never seen Turandot, the whole opera, you've definitely heard some of the famous arias and music from it. The most famous aria is probably Prince Calaf's aria, Nessun Dorma. And that has been kind of a staple performance aria for tenors for a really, really long time, ever since it debuted. So you've definitely heard it. And I will try to find some public domain orchestrations and probably a sample of Nessun Dorma and play that during this planner video, just so you can see, or rather so you can hear a little bit of the score. And it's just very rich and tonal and beautiful. And he also incorporated a lot of Chinese instruments into the orchestration. So there's a very unique sound that Turandot has that other operas might not. So there is our Princess Turandot. And in terms of the story, Turandot is really about a kingdom where the king, and it's set in sort of a period Chinese imperial China, and the king has said, or the emperor rather, that the princess has to marry. But the princess, she knows that in the past there has been a princess, another royal woman, who was deceived into an abusive situation, and she very much does not trust men at all. And she basically decrees she will only marry if she can find a suitor who will solve her 3 riddles. So that is kind of where she is mentally. And she is kind of portrayed as this cruel ice princess, but really I kind of can see how her character would be afraid based on like the history of what she's witnessed to put herself into an arranged marriage. So this is really her trying to have some control. Now, the flip side of that is if the suitor cannot correctly figure out her riddle, he's executed. So, so she's very much hard to get. But this has protected her from really being married off to someone that she does not consider worthy. I'm looking how that looks so far. Now, she's a beautiful princess, so of course she does have suitors, even though she has these, you know, riddles, and she's got this history of, you know, executing anyone who comes to try and propose to her. And what ends up happening, I'm kind of looking at these trying to find something that works with this. I think I'm going to use those, so I'll use those later. So there is a prince, and he's in disguise because his father was a former king who's been kind of outcast. So he's coming back after a long time, and his name is Kalaf. And Prince Kalaf, he is basically falls in love at first sight when he sees a glimpse of the Princess Turandot. And he decides that no matter what happens, he is going to solve the riddles and he's going to win her heart. Now he has, so he goes and he actually does solve the riddles. And the princess is kind of horrified. And she, really protests and explains her position by talking about how she is, you know, she remembers the princess the lady who got taken advantage of and who was attacked. And that's why she is the way she is. So what ends up happening is Kalaf says, okay, well, I'll tell you what, nobody knows my name here. So nobody knows who I am. If you can guess my name, then, you know, you can kill me. You don't have to marry me. So that gives her sort of an out. But she immediately goes to the servant of his family, who he was really kind to and kind of has a thing for him. And the servant is very filial, very loyal, and she refuses to give up his name. And when she's pressed further, she actually she commits suicide, and instead of giving up his name to give his life over to her. And this, you know, depending on how the staging goes, but in most staging I've seen, this very much shocks Turandot. I don't think she was thinking that was going to happen. And so she's starting to realize that this prince is really a good man, a kind man who takes care of his household, and has created these strong bonds with people. So she's questioning everything that she kind of knows. And that's when she comes across Prince Kalaf, and this is, you know, while this is all happening, this is when we have the titular Nessun Dorma aria just before, where he is talking about how he's going to be victorious in love and win the princess. And right afterward, they kind of meet in secret and confess their love to each other. And that is when Kalaf does something that is totally unexpected. So Kalaf tells his identity to her. He basically says, okay, so here we go. Here is my name. Here's who I am. now you know my life is in your hands. And now it's up to Turandot to decide if she's going to, you know, spare his life, or if she is going to, you know, decide to be with him. And I just think that the fact that he put his life in her hands, like knowing that would be probably the only way that she would trust him, and to really show that he loved her. I just think that's really kind of it's very interesting for a male character to do that. And it does end up that when they ask the identity of the prince, at the very end, she says his name is Love, and they marry and are celebrated and become great rulers of the kingdom. So I feel like every character in this particular opera has a backstory that is told to us so that we understand their character better. So a lot of people think that Turandot is a very like one-sided like ice princess, but I can kind of see where she's coming from. I think she takes it to real extremes, but in the end, love wins the day. Now, I will say this is a story about like a period China that is being told by a white Italian man in the 20th century. So we're going to have some issues with that. And certainly this is a very hot topic opera when it comes to things like cultural appropriation. That's one bit of it. Another bit of it is that in China during the communist regime, this was like a very banned opera because of various reasons, and it wasn't allowed to be performed until I believe like the 90s. So that is really the backstory of Turandot. I really love this opera. It has a lot of drama, and it has a lot of great characterization. So I had to go ahead and I glued everything down where I wanted it, and then I added some of these really beautiful, like fiery colored florals, these delicate leaves. And I think that's going to be beautiful with the color palette. The one thing that this book didn't have that I might have to go to my Mega Florals book to get is I really wanted to have some jasmine flower, because jasmine is a theme that is very much associated with Turandot. So I probably will go back and get some more of those. But this is going to be more like a memory keeping spread. So I'm going to mostly do box stickers and have these kind of writing areas, and that's what I am going to go ahead and use. I absolutely have to use this sticker. And you'll see why when I pull it. But it says celebrate your victories, and I think that ties really well with Nessun Dorma. So I am going to put that here. And I'm very much layering these stickers with the scrapbook paper and the other elements. So I'm not really adhering to the box structure of the actual monthly layout. I'm kind of created my own structure with the layers of the scrapbook paper. So I have some of these really beautiful ceramic prints, and I'm gonna go ahead and incorporate some of these, and these are from Sticky Club. add some more traditional Chinese art elements on these stickers, and one of the ones that I wanted to use was this scroll. Because in the opera, the princess actually carries scrolls, and they contain the answers to the riddles, and they are unfurled each time a guess is given, in a very dramatic fashion, of course. So I'm very happy now with the stickers I've chosen, and I'm ready to go ahead and add the washi tape and the final elements. And so what I'm going to use this washi for is just the sides. So this side here, and then this side here. And then I'm going to use this washi tape to cover up this part here, since we don't use it for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will add our character stickers. So I'm finally ready to add my character stickers, and I'm really excited with how this looks and feels. It actually will still be quasi-functional. Again, I'm going to use this for record keeping, so things like noting appointments I've had and some major milestones this month, since it's later in the month, but I still really love this. I'm glad I waited till I had all the materials. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put things where I want them to go, and I'm going to use this lovely lady here as my inquisitive, not so trusting, earlier in the opera, Turandot. And here we have Kalaf in disguise. Tried to find stickers that look like the same person. And then I thought that it would be pretty in the corner here to have the two of them together, kind of symbolizing the end of the opera and the final resolution. So I feel like the flow of this still tells the story of the opera, which is sort of what I was going for. The only thing that I still feel like I need that's not on here is jasmine flowers. So I'm going to go find some jasmine flower stickers because I know I have them, get those on here, and show you guys the final product. And here we have the final product. This has definitely been one of the more ambitious opera-inspired spreads that I've done. The only thing I changed from the last clip to this is I added this jasmine flower here, and then I found this beautiful quote that says, "Go after your dreams," that matched the color scheme, so I put it here. But I really love this. It very much, I think, tells the story of the opera through the monthly spread, which is sort of my goal. Very specifically wanted it to feel like a hanfu drama, because I'm such a big fan. If you enjoy Chinese dramas, if you've watched any on Netflix or anywhere else, let me know in the comments. I would love to chat more about shows like Princess Weiyoung, Ashes of Love. I'm just a huge fangirl. But this is just shaping up to be so nice, and it's still very much functional as like a monthly overview, so I'm very happy about that. I was worried it was going to be really overly decorative, but it still is a monthly layout. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more of these, check my opera playlist. I hope to see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.